Today, I'm going to take a look at Strategy and Tactics number 297. This is from March to April 2016. Why am I going back to 2016? Well, I picked this up at a Noble Knight sale. I picked this up on the spring sale. So by the time I'm posting this, that is long gone. But this game is not. This is 1863, Turning Point in the Civil War. That is the game that goes along with this issue. In this issue of Strategy and Tactics, it says it features anti-access area denial warfare, China's Anlushan Rebellion, and the Battle of Grozny, 1994. So some interesting stuff to look into in this Strategy and Tactics. But I mainly picked it up for this game because it's 1863. This is somewhat of a unique game from Joseph Miranda. This is dealing with the American Civil War, of course. And I'm posting this on July 2nd, which is the second day of Gettysburg, and Gettysburg took place during 1863, so that could be part of this game, but this game is really more of a operational, if not almost kind of a strategic game. It's a point-to-point map, and it has the unique mechanism of you play both sides. Yes, you play on one side of the map, you're playing the Union forces, and on the other side of the map, you're playing the Confederate forces, and then your opponent is reversing that. But let's take a look at that once we get inside, shall we? There you get a chance to see the kind of the point-to-point map that is in here. But I wanted to do a page through as well. So I'm posting this, actually I'm filming this long before July 2nd. I think I said July 2nd, didn't I? Hopefully I said July 2nd, which is the second day of Gettysburg. Did I mention that? Am I starting to repeat myself? So you get a magazine, and in the magazine is going to be magazine type stuff, right? We'll take a look at that. But you're also going to get the rules that are in here. As you can see, the 1863 at the top of the page there. And they're attached to this a little bit thicker paper, which is basically an advertisement for Strategy and Tactics, World at War, and Modern War, which you can tell by the date of this, Modern War is no longer. So anyway, so here are the rules. We'll take a look at that after we do the page through. But you're also going to get the components for the game, which is the map. We'll take a look at that as well, I promise. And we also get the counters. We'll take a look at those right now. So you got interesting counters here. You've got Grant and Lee on opposing sides there. Kind of thin, but that is typical for decision games type magazine games. But they are double-sided there, as you can see. So somewhat interesting there. We'll save that once we get to that. Let's do a little bit of a page through here, because this is a magazine game or magazine war game. And I've covered a lot of magazines and magazine war games. Take a look at my playlist down below, and you will see all the games I've covered. So magazine war games are just that. There's a magazine, and there's a war game inside if you get that edition. And I always get that edition. Well, almost always. So we're going to have a lot of articles in here, or a lot of ads, I should say, for decision games, a lot of these folio games, which I've covered several of those as well. Take a look at my playlist. Here's American Civil War Quick Play Minis. These are like mini games covering certain aspects of the Civil War. Then we have, here are the features. So we have 1863, Turning Point in the Civil War. That's going to be an article about 1863, which is one thing I do like about Strategy and Tactics and most other war game magazines is the ones that contain a game. They usually have an article that gives you context about that game. And that is the article that's going to give you context. And it's probably going to have maps and charts and the like. And, if you follow my channel, I am a sucker for a good map. Then we have those articles I talked about before, anti-access area denial warfare. Should be an interesting article there. The Aleutian Rebellion, which is AD 755 to 763. Now, usually not a lot of articles on Chinese history, because normally they're in Chinese, and not all of us can read Chinese, and even less games about it, especially games that are published in the United States. So something that for you designers and publishers out there, please address that. Then you have the Battle of Grozny, 1994, and then we have some regular departments in here. The Game Edition rules by Joseph Miranda, what's coming up in the next issue and the like. So here's that lead article, 1863, the turning point of the American Civil War. And here we go. We have some maps. So here's an 1863 overview. We have some pictures, some images. We have some inset pieces here, a clash of logistics, regulars, volunteers, militia, the higher commands, I should say. Oh, and there we go. We have charts too. So I told you we're going to get charts and pictures and maps and all kinds of good stuff here. Here are the weapons. And then we have the Gettysburg campaign itself. So given that we are on July 2nd, which is the second day of Gettysburg, some of the more notable points are the charge of Little Round Top, or the attack on Little Round Top on the second day. Of course, the third day we all know is Pickett's charge. Those aren't the only things, but probably the most notable. Some images of the dead Union soldiers from Gettysburg. I've got a whole book on that. I don't know if I've covered that yet, or I might have covered it and haven't posted it yet. I don't know. You tell me. I get behind on stuff. But some of these are some of the images that come from that, which is, early American war photography. The Civil War kind of brought that to the American public, is images like that, which they had not seen before. Then we get into the rules here. I'll get to those in a second. Let's keep looking at some of these images here. There's Lincoln. This is a continuation of that article. Then we get the Vicksburg campaign. Very interesting battle. And I have covered a few games on that as well. There's another Vicksburg campaign overview there. Then we have the Chickamauga campaign. So, 1863 is very notable time frame in the American Civil War. And here's an article on design from Joseph Miranda. Anti-access area denial warfare. Interesting there. So this is going to be covering several different periods, it looks like. Wow, interesting. I will have to dive into that. Very interesting indeed. Then we have the Aleutian Rebellion. A little bit of army organization, the Tang Field Army. And the Tang Dynasty was kind of the high point of Chinese civilization. A lot of other civilizations, most notably the Japanese and the Korean, kind of took from the Tang Dynasty, the culture and literature and language and customs and stuff, and kind of adopted them into their own, kind of a high watermark in Chinese culture. But, you knew that. Anyway, here are some more charts about this period here. Here's the Battle of Grozny here. Oh, interesting map look there. The Second Chechen War. A lot of interesting images here. And the defunct Modern War. You know, I liked Modern War, but not enough other people did. And you know, I never got a subscription. I don't get subscriptions to these. Have I ever got a subscription? I bought a lot of these, but I usually kind of wait till they go on sale, or like this one was kind of in the bargain bin, if so to speak, on Noble Knight, so I picked it up. But I have paid a little bit more than what I probably should, but never the full price for these. Maybe, yeah, no, even at my friendly local gaming store, I kind of wait for it to come down. So maybe I should have subscribed and we would still have Modern War today. So it is all my fault. So this for-you information is kind of a amalgamation of, I think, different articles and topics there. Quite a few things going on there. And some more. Here's what's coming up next, I guess. Or maybe that's looking back. 50 issues ago, 100 issues ago, 150 issues ago, 200 issues ago. Well, that's pretty amazing there. There you have it. That's a quick page through of 1863, but you know, you came for the game, didn't you? You can admit it, you came for the game. Let's look at the rules here. So again, this is a different kind of game. It has that, there's a few games, and I think I've covered man, I'm having a senior moment, but there's a few games that do this two sides split personality situation where you play one side on one front and the opponent on the other front, and then just add up victory points, right? So interesting concept here, though I don't think I've ever seen it on a point-to-point map like this before. So another reason why I kind of wanted to pick this up. So we've got introduction, game components, theater and theater command, how to win, setting up the game, sequence of play, victory points, general orders, recruiting, reorganizing, movement, stacking, combat results, retreating, leaders, seeing the elephant, promoting units, special units, river operations, naval transfer, logistics, theater reserve areas, fog of war, and explanation of combat results and scenarios. Okay, cool. So it's going to be triple column. Color, so we're going to get an explanation of some of these counters here. Let's take a look at that. So we've got the core, unit ID, union, movement, west and east. So again, you're going to have two different theaters here, and then you have combat strength. Interesting. I wonder how that's going to work out through the different theaters. Looks like a standard decision games, especially magazine game kind of setup of how you have the case system, but not large amounts of text. These like little entries here for the different cases or the different sections. There's also designer notes that are in here and examples that are in throughout the rules here. Some more images of counters throughout. So this is talking about leaders here. And so it looks like 14 pages of rules. And then we're going to get into some charts. See that little liner? That's that glue that holds it all together. That holds it inside the magazine. So here's your charts and table. You have a recruiting chart, summary of important information and victory points, and terrain effects chart. All righty. So now we've been through the rules. You're ready to play the game. Well, no, that's not the intent of this. Let's get this map open. We've already seen the counters a little bit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Upside down. So pick out your favorite leader there. There's good old Stonewall and Longstreet. Have a little bit of a soft spot for Longstreet. Yeah, Grant, Sherman, Hooker, Meade, Rosecrans, Burnside, McClellan. No, McClernand. What am I thinking? McClellan was long gone by 63. He was starting to get up his campaign, wasn't he? Political campaign, that is. All right, so let's look at the map here. Ooh, interesting looking map. Let's get a gander at that. and see what we have to see here. I'm going to probably have to go up Periscope here and get a little bit better view of that map. So, wow, a lot going on here. Well, so we got our major battle CRT, skirmish CRT. So we have two different combat results tables. We have our terrain key over here, which is mainly talking about these different circles and triangles and what's in there. You know, I guess a square is a city space, a circle is a town space, and a octagon is a rough space. So there's Lookout Mountain. We have some holding boxes. Here's Confederate Reserve, CSA reinforcements. We're going to have some of that for the Union as well, and a Union Reserve area over there. We have like a battle display here. What else do we got going on here? Here's a Confederate Reserve area down here. We have a Union war victory points, and we have a turn track here. What am I missing? A lot of stuff going on here. All right, so and then here's the CSA West victory points and the CSA East victory points. So you got the two different victory points depending on the track. And we have two theaters. We have the East and the West. So here in the East, we have West Virginia. Imagine that. We have West Virginia in the East. Okay. Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania border, and Delaware, Maryland over here. And then here in the West, we have Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Missouri, but just the far east portion of Missouri with Cairo and New Madrid. So we don't even get to St. Louis. Island number 10, very important. Okay. Then we have Memphis, Helena. So interesting there. So we got Arkansas, Mississippi, and there you have it. So you've got these two theaters. So in this theater, you're going to play Union, and that same person will be playing Confederates, and then on the person that plays Confederates here will be playing Union over here, and you'll be adding up the victory points. That's kind of how it is set up. So there you have it. That is 1863 from, I keep turning that upside down, from Strategy and Tactics number 297. If you have played this, please, please, please tell us what you think about it. How does it work? Is it a complete game? You know, a lot of people rag on magazine war games that they're not fully developed or incomplete or too much errata or what have you. This looks interesting, kind of a setup. Probably something, I normally play a lot of these two-handed. This looks like it might be really kind of hard to play two-handed, given that you're playing four different sides in some respects. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on it, what you think about it, if you have played it, or if you haven't played it and this is the first time you're seeing about it. What's your initial thoughts? You know, is this something that looks interesting? It definitely is different and covers this theater in a different way. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy your July 2nd and commemorating or remembering or whatever you're doing for the second day of Gettysburg. Take care, all. Thanks for watching.